Alright, so today we're reviewing student submissions, and first of all, this is exercise 5 from November 2024, paper 1, variant 2, the informal email. So let me zoom in. I'm sorry if I sound a bit stuffy, right? Right, I've got the cold and the cough and everything that comes with it. So, right, here's the question. You recently found yourself in a difficult situation. You received some help to deal with that situation. Write an email to a friend about your experience. In your email, you should explain what the difficult situation was. Describe the help you received and say how you felt about the experience. So, a very, very general question, right? Very general. So, let's see how we've done. The first thing we want to check, obviously, is the word count. 160 or 160, so that's brilliant actually as far as the word count is concerned. Let's take a read and see how this goes. Hi Rohan, hope you had a great weekend. Sorry for not writing for a while, I've been busy with work. I was recently leaving home for school when I forgot my house keys inside. My parents were out of town and I was locked out with no one to call. I started panicking as I had an important exam and needed the keys and my study materials. Luckily, my neighbor Ahmed saw me as he was also leaving for school. He came over and offered to help. His mother had a spare key for my house that my parents gave her before they left for an emergency, like this one. She opened the door for me and offered me some tea to help me calm down. I felt relieved and grateful for her kindness, which helped me to make it to my exam on time and reminded me of the importance of having great neighbors. Take care. Afan. It's well written. It's good stuff. How long did you spend on getting this done, Afan?
Well, I don't remember, but it was usually more time than I usually work on.
Was it more than half an hour?
Yes.
Hmm. Right. So the quality is good. So obviously you spent time on it. Now our goal is to try and produce something like this within a maximum of half an hour, right? Possibly less. And so obviously for that we need to improve our and speed up our thinking and writing skills and make as few mistakes as possible, right? So you guys are actually making it difficult for me because, right, I honestly, I mean, I can nitpick and try to move things about, but again, that would just be nitpicking. Like, I really don't have anything as such to suggest for improving, right? I don't see any grammatical mistakes, any, right? I mean, the only thing I'd say, and again, that's nitpicking, is right. You were, you had an important exam and you were panicking, but you had time to sit down for tea, right? Again, right, that is not something that's relevant to your writing, right? So the task has been fulfilled and it's been done well. So good job.
So what I meant by that was she offered me tea, but like I didn't want it.
It doesn't matter, right? I mean, I understood that she offered you tea, right? And right, I well, what I took from it is that you did take it and it helped you calm down. But it doesn't matter, right? Like I said, as far as the task is concerned, it doesn't matter because the examiner is not going to go and check whether you actually had an exam, and they're not going to come and ask your neighbor whether they offered you tea and whether you took it, right? So the criteria for marking is task fulfillment, as you know, right? So you see 6 marks for the content and 9 marks for the language, right? And so for content, one thing is task fulfillment. Did you cover the 3 bullet points? Were you on topic? And yes, you were. right? You covered all three bullet points well, right? And so the marks for language is your vocabulary and your grammar and your punctuation and your sentence structure, and all of that is also good. So yeah, right. If there was something that were illogical, that just didn't make sense, then we talk about it, because it would affect your marks for content. But in this case, it's not like that. Okay. So the only thing I have to say to you is good, right? And return that. Okay, next we have IMA submission for the informal email. Again, let me zoom in, right? Same question, obviously. So we want a word count starting from the salutation. And 156. That's good. Let's see. Hi Zainab, hope you're doing well. I wanted to tell you about a difficult situation I faced recently. My father finally gave me permission to join the school trip, which I had been requesting for 2 weeks. I was really excited. Okay. When I went to school the next day to add my name to the list, my teacher asked me to check the list of essential items. Most things like a water bottle, backpack, and comfortable clothes were easy to arrange, but then the trip guider told me that every student also needed a good quality camera to take pictures for the school album. These photos are very important for me because I took photography as an extra subject this year. I remember the camera you showed me last time. It's portable and perfect for the trip. Could you please let me borrow it for 1 week? I'll return it safely. Hmm. Now, Ima, do you want my honest feedback? You there? Hmm. Just a sec. Okay, so Ima isn't responsive. Okay. So, uh, right, I feel that the content has missed the, you know, has missed the mark, because the question is asking a difficult situation, the help that you received, and how you felt about the experience, right? And so over here, you are talking about getting permission, and so that's probably not the difficult situation. From what I can gather, is that the difficult situation is you not having a camera, right? And so perhaps that's the only part that you've explained, described the help that you received and how you felt about the experience. And so right over here, you're just asking whether you can borrow it. And so that doesn't really lead into uh, the help that you received, right? And so obviously how you felt about the difficult situation, perhaps, perhaps this, right over here, these photos are very important for me because I took photography again, right? But how you felt about it, like you took photography as an extra subject, so it's not very clear, right? It's a bit vague. And so I feel like you've missed the task fulfillment, the task criteria. And I'd suggest you do this again, right? Reattempt it. You could keep it the same way, in the sense that it's a similar scenario where you're going on a trip, but then don't detail so much that I was waiting for 2 weeks. Like, you don't need to tell them I was going on a trip, and right, and so don't take help from the person you are writing the email to, because you're telling them about a situation that already occurred, you already received help, and then you're telling them how you felt about the whole thing, right? So obviously you received help from someone else, and so you're just telling. So the Zana person is, right, not the one who's helping you. And so you can mention that you're going on a trip and having a camera was important, because it was a trip organized for my photography class. That makes it more relevant as a problem, right? And so you could say that my camera was, developed some fault and needed to go in for servicing, and so I didn't have a spare. And so, my cousin, or my brother's friend or my father's friend or someone lent me their camera, and it was a good camera. Maybe it was just a point and shoot, but it did the job, and I received that help. And right, uh, how it made you feel, you could say that, uh, maybe, right, well, obviously grateful for their help, and lucky perhaps that you got to use it if they gave you a better camera. So you felt fortunate, lucky, inspired that if you improve your photography skills, you might one day be able to use that kind of camera for taking professional photographs, and maybe do this as your career or a side hustle. I mean, again, right, to go into that much detail, perhaps you'll probably be uh, going over the word limit. Perhaps you just might be able to squeeze it in, maybe, not sure, right? But again, you need to sort of work on this again, all right? So as far as the content is concerned, right, that is my suggestion to you. Now, since we are checking work, a few grammatical points. uh, Over here, I've been requesting since 2 weeks. No? Interesting. Okay. So we'll keep it as 4 because Google disagrees with my correction. It's probably the technicality that 4 includes the duration end to end, and since gives you the starting point. Okay. Uh, so over here, what I change is, because you're using list of essential items later, right? Uh, you When I went to school the next day, you enrolled for the trip. To enroll for the trip. Okay, the trip guide, not trip guider, but trip guide. So guide as a noun, one of the meanings is a person who guides. Okay, so I'll add some feedback over here. Okay. So return that. Okay, next up we have exercise 6. So again, Afan, you're up first. And so we have a report. So new shopping. Why does this look familiar? I think we've done something similar. So a new shopping center has recently opened in your area, and last week you visited with a few friends. The manager of the shopping center wants students' opinion about the shopping center, and you have been asked to write a report. Explain what you think about the shopping center and suggest what the managers of the shopping center could do to encourage more people to visit it. And so you've got there, this area already has a few other shopping centers. It's easy to get there. Shops are quite expensive. There's a range of places to eat, and so you're supposed to write a report. Okay. 156. So that's good. Let's see what we've actually done. Okay. Shopping center report. Just want to tweak that a bit. Introduction. As requested, I've prepared a report about a shopping center my friends and I visited last week. I have interviewed my friends and my findings are presented below. Okay. Positive reviews, positive points. Overall, the new shopping center offers great accessibility. It is easy to get there, which is a major convenience for residents. Additionally, the center provides a diverse range of places to eat, ensuring visitors have ample choice of meals and snacks during their visit. Okay. Nevertheless, some were disappointed as the shops are generally quite expensive, which could deter a large number of people, particularly students and families on a budget. Furthermore, the center faces competition. The area already has a few other shopping centers, requiring an effective way to attract and retain customers. Nice. Suggestions. To encourage more people to visit, the manager should consider introducing affordable, well-known, budget-friendly clothing, and also implement student uh, discounts to attract younger customers. Okay. Now, feedback. Overall, very well written. I want to tweak this just a bit, right? And so instead of saying report on shopping center report, you can do report on new shopping center, right? And so that's the easiest and simplest and direct way, and you really don't require anything more than doing that, right? So whatever the topic is, you just do report on and new shopping center. It is new, right? Yeah, it's new. You could possibly skip this subheading. You've used subheadings and you've used them correctly, so that's good. Again, subheadings are optional, right? They give a more organized look to your report, but they are not a requirement. So you will not be penalized if you don't do it. I could skip this. You just write the introductory line on its own and then you give the subheadings later. But it works either way. So again, I'm not going to go into that. As requested, I prepared a report about. I just want to add new over here. A new shopping center my friends and I visited, just to make that clear. Okay. uh, positive and negative points are good. The only right, you're focusing on clothing. I don't know whether, like, let's just go back to the question. Is it talking about clothing in particular? Right, the shops are quite expensive, and right, only the area already has a few other shopping centers. So you focus on clothing. Now, on its own, that's fine. I could, we could just leave it that way and it works as far as task fulfillment is concerned. But if you want to be a bit more particular about your writing, you want to change clothing to uh, vendors, right? So vendors is a term you can use for shop, and or you could just say shops. And then it's more generalized that you're not focusing just on clothing. It could be sports equipment, it could be stationaries, bookshops, and whatever else. I mean, I know shopping malls have mostly clothing stores. That's right, the majority, but they also have electronics and gadgets and uh, other shops as well. So, right? So we could use vendors over here. And right, so you've started a sentence over here with the conjunction, and so it is a general sort of misconception that there's a rule in English where you can't begin a sentence with a conjunction, and that is incorrect. And as I said, it's a misconception, so that there is no such rule, right? You can very well begin a sentence with a conjunction. Uh, the only requirement is that your sentence should be correct, right? So it should fulfill the requirements of being a sentence. It should make sense, right? It should give complete meaning, all that. So that's fine. So just those minor suggestions, and otherwise, good job. Okay. So yeah. So obviously, again, right? So you spent a bit of time on this, which is good. So we're learning, right? But right. So we want to improve and bring it down into a time range that is manageable during an exam situation. Well, obviously, we're working to get there. Okay. So returning that. On that. Now, next, I'm a submission. Zoom in. Okay. 158. Okay, good. So what do we have? Report on new shopping center. Okay, that's fine. Last week I visited the new shopping center with a few friends, and overall we had a positive experience. The center is very easy to get to because it is located near the main road and several bus stops. Okay. This makes it convenient for students and families. Another good point is that there is a wide range of places to eat, including cafes, fast food outlets, and healthier options. This variety makes the center suitable for different preferences. Good. However, there are also some issues. Many of the shops are quite expensive, which may discourage students from visiting frequently. Additionally, our area already has a few other shopping centers, so this one needs more unique attractions to stand out. To encourage more people to visit, I suggest offering regular student discounts and organizing weekend events such as music performances or small exhibitions. Adding more affordable shops would also attract a large number of visitors. Good. Overall, good. So, right, you guys, like, you're good. I am impressed, I should say, about with the effort you guys are putting in. So and the improvement that you're showing, obviously. I don't have anything in particular to suggest, right? So I'll just return it as it is. Again, if I keep staring at it and rereading it, I might start nitpicking and stuff, and again, that's not the point. So yeah, good job. So we're done with that, and we're also done with the day, right? So for tomorrow's class, we'll continue. Right, tomorrow's class may be short. We'll continue with the listening that we left off, and I don't want to start anything new. So we'll see, right? We'll just perhaps just do the listening, the remainder, and yeah, then right we'll meet again after our winter break. So, anything you guys want to add? Any suggestions? Anything?
No.
Okay. So I'll see you guys for tomorrow's class then, inshallah.
Okay, Allah Hafiz.
Allah.